Hey, Gene. Hi, Ruth. Good morning. I gotta walk away from the camera for a second because I forgot the Bites brush. Hey, Darth. I'll be back in a second. I forgot Bites brush. Gotta have that to have a live stream, right? All right, I'm back. Okay, well, he'll be back. He always is. Come on, buddy. Don't sulk. Come on. He'll be back. Hey, Mark. Yeah, well, I mean, the countertops, they've always been real nice. I got to admit, when I first saw them in the pictures, when before I bought the house, I said I don't really like it. But when I saw them up close and saw them, um, personally for the first time, I said, these are actually really nice. So yeah, and I just like how the hardware matches, kind of ties in with the stone now. Told you he'd be back. Work's going fine. The boss has been out a lot lately. He's had some kind of personal issues he's had to deal with. So it's been kind of a crazy few weeks, but hopefully that's all turning around now. We got an official call for a treat here. Do you think you deserve a treat? Probably the only reason you're out here, right? That one's almost empty. We're going to have to get you another one. Thank you. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Well, I got to give him his treats first, Darth. No, Kara shut the store last week for the 4th of July, so she did show some. Cole showed me a couple of things that she sent on Facebook for me to see that I'm very interested in seeing in person. So hopefully they'll still be there next week when I show up. You klutz. I'm sure Flash is fine. I haven't seen her yet today. She hasn't come out, but she's usually I usually see her every week, usually on my weekends. Not usually on my work days because on the work days I'm out before it's light and I'm home after it's dark. So at that point she's doing her thing. Yeah, if you saw how big Bite was, there'd be no doubt that he hasn't missed a meal in a long time. I mean, yeah, when he was 5 weeks old and a baby living in my backyard, he was eating bugs, but We've risen above that now, haven't we? You get done with this, you're going to go back to your room and go into a food coma, aren't you? Yes, you are. Once you clean all the debris off the couch here. Yes, he's progressed somewhat from bugs. So now Darth is saying when you have to be brushed too. Jeez. Oh yes, he likes that. That and the treats. It's been hot lately, but that's supposed to start to change tomorrow. We're supposed to kind of go into a wet period for a couple of days. That'll be nice. Temperatures are supposed to get into the low 80s. There was a little pop-up storm that came through here yesterday, but it's one of those. It was on again, off again kind of things. It popped up. It was there for about 5 minutes, and then it was done. Well, I'm not tired of the heat yet, so that's one of the things I like about Texas is about the time you get tired of what's going on weather-wise, it starts to change. You want your belly to done to bite? We have a request for that. Get some white fur on the brush now, huh? You big fat tub of lard. Yes, you are. He doesn't like being held that much. And back to his bedroom now. Yeah, it just seems to me that every once in a while, or a lot lately, I guess Rhonda seems to be working on Sundays. So she pops in here from time to time. And then she'll talk our ear off. Yeah, rest in peace, Lindsey Graham. That was surprising. Yeah, well, I'm the owner, Gene, so you know, Bite has to put up with it from time to time, but I keep it minimized. Yeah, I got one more section to do, Darth, and then they're done. But yeah, they turned out much better than I expected. Very pleased. Is that what they're calling it? I heard it was after like a short sickness or something. Yeah, I don't know. It could be. We'll just, it'll be interesting to see what the coroner report says. Well, that was sort of the reason why I take the doors off and paint them horizontally, because then you don't have gravity pulling on the paint. But the secret to spray paint is just thin coats that keep moving. Just kind of sweep back and forth across it and kind of move across the surface that you're painting as the color cover begins to cover. He was a serious supporter of the military. I thought he was a little squishy sometimes on social issues, but the secret to the spray painting is just, especially if you're going to do it in the house, is just prep work. You got to get yourself all masked out so you don't get paint all over the place, because that paint just goes everywhere. So I mean, I completely kind of encased the area I was painting so that the paint didn't wander around. I also tended to have positive or negative pressure, so I had an air conditioner or a little air fan blowing out into the garage, so that was pulling paint towards the garage. So anything that was airborne got pulled away from everything. Yes, Kara sent me a couple pictures. Thanks for bringing that up. I was gonna, when we were handling and brushing bite, I didn't want to break away for that. But let me show you a couple of things that she sent me recently. Okay, here's one. Hang on. Takes me a second to set this up because I got to go find what it is I want. Then I got to configure the system to allow me to do the break-in, and then I got to press the allow button. And this is one of the things that she showed me. I thought this was really cool. I've got a piece of this. It's called grape agate, but it isn't as gorgeous as that piece. Look at that. So I definitely want to see that. And then she also sent me, let's see, this one. Let me see if I can blow that up full screen here. Look at that. That's quartz and pyrite. And I got a lot of quartz and I got a lot of pyrite, but I don't really have a lot of it together in one piece. And look at that, look at those big cubes of pyrite on that. How awesome is that? She had two of them like that, but this one was the most spectacular. I hope that one's still there. That was a few weeks ago that she showed me that. That's the scary thing, though. She really knows what I like. And I think she brings it into the store because she thinks that it will catch my attention, especially when she lets me know about it ahead of time, and I show interested that I'm interested in it. I think a lot of things over there, that people buy. I think they buy the little stuff. There aren't a lot of people that come in and buy the really nice pieces. So I got a really good got a good chance of being able to pick those up. Yeah, Flaming Lips is an interesting band. That's someone that Jordan got me into. I was aware of them, and in fact, when I used to work at Warner Brothers, every once in a while, some of the catalog CDs, because we did all of the Warner Brothers CDs and stuff like that, and so every once in a while we'd have like CD sales, and we could buy a CD for $1, and I kept seeing Flaming Lips in there, and gave a few of them away at Christmas parties and stuff like that, and picked up a few for myself. And but only really after I got to know Jordan well did I really start to get into them. They're interesting. They're a great band. I had fun time seeing them live. Yeah, it was Lowe's, but yeah, I don't have any more contact with Lowe's. Lowe's is dead to me. I walked into a Lowe's once just because I wanted to see what their price on something was, but I'll never buy anything there again. What's it called? Ouch, we broke a hip. I've fallen when I can't get up. Is it? Huh. Doesn't usually work out that way. I don't know. I was never as much a Rolling Stones fan as some people are. They got a couple of songs I like. Sympathy for the Devil's a great song. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. Yeah, Jumping Jack Flash is a good song. Painted Black is a good song. Yeah, maybe. I think Satisfaction was just kind of became too cliche for me. Yeah, yeah. I mean, those are all decent songs. I don't know. I don't have any. I got to admit, I don't have any Rolling Stones albums in my collection. Okay, so obviously Darth's more of a Stones fan than I am. I don't know. I guess it was just not one of those bands I got into. Yeah, I remember grew up kind of after that era. I was 5 or 6 when that was all happening, and so the stuff I got into from that time I got into afterwards. Guided by Voices, more than 100 albums. Basically, Guided by Voices starts on that row right there, goes all the way across and across the row on the bottom, and that's not everything. So, 100 plus albums. It probably would have been a good band to see live. The especially in their heyday. No, not really. I haven't really followed Guided by Voices for a while. I haven't heard any of the new stuff in a few years. I do pull it out. I got everything on my cell phone. At least everything that up to the point where I stopped buying. And then I kind of just got out of music altogether, really. I mean, I still listen to it sometimes, but I'm more into politics now, talk radio and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I suppose if an opportunity dropped in my lap to go see him live, I'd probably do it just because it is such a classic band. No, I don't listen to any podcast. Well, technically, I listen to the Mark Levin show, and that's technically a podcast, but it's a just a rebroadcast of his radio show. That's usually the background soundtrack when I'm home during my weekend. In fact, you can probably see it's on the screen right there. Yeah, maybe. Might be a good week to do a restaurant vlog just because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, that's the big joke about Keith Richards. I don't know. Did he? I don't remember hearing he had a heart attack. It's possible. Keith looks like he's 880. I haven't really followed anything about Taylor Swift or her wedding. I'm not really into her as an artist. I don't even know who her husband is and what they did. With them getting married, whatever. They'll divorce in 3 months. That's how it usually works. Paul McCartney looks young. He's still seems really young and healthy and on top of it. Heart valve replacement. Okay, interesting. But see, Paul McCartney is another person who's I'm not really interested in anything new he would do. He's just great as a Beatle. I didn't even really follow his career afterwards. I knew a few of the songs I heard on the radio, but I don't think I ever bought any albums of his. Same with John Lennon. I honor them for their Beatles work. In fact, come to think of it, I think the only album I have that features a former Beatle is a Traveling Wilburys album with George Harrison. I like a few of their songs, but it was never enough that I go out and buy an album. I mean, it's not like a Beatles album. You can put on a Beatles album and listen to the whole thing. It's not just one or two songs. Some of the songs that Paul McCartney did afterwards are pretty good. Some of the songs that John Lennon did were pretty good. I think Yoko Ono was a bad combination for that. I don't get his John's infatuation with her artistry. 86. Wow. I remember when they were singing about being 65. I know I've joked a number of times, Mark, that it's going to be at some point they're going to call it the Traveling Wilbury because we lost Roy, we lost George, we lost uh, um, what's his name? What's his name? No, Dylan's still with us, isn't he? Or did I miss that? Yeah, that's what I thought. It was just the two. And I don't think they've done anything with the Traveling Wilburys since. I know they did performances after um, Harrison and Orbison died. Because I remember seeing videos. It must have been the album right after Roy died because um, they had, he apparently Roy had done the vocals, but when they did the music video, they basically just had, I think like one of his videos just had Roy's glasses and a guitar or something like that and a photograph. I got to see the Dead and Company once with Jordan. That was pretty amazing. Never been a Dead fan, but it was still fun to be there. Yeah, that's what it was. It was good. Yeah, yeah. I didn't think I would like the Traveling Wilburys that much, but I like them a lot more than I would expect I would. Kiss, that's another band that just keeps hanging on. I mean, I went and saw them, when I still lived in California with Jordan, and that was supposedly their end of the road tour, and I think they're still out and about. Yeah, I like the Beatles too. Not necessarily the really early Beatles, but kind of mid era Beatles and on when they started getting a little bit more into the psychedelic. I like the Revolver, the Rubber Soul era. That was Yellow Submarine. Those were great albums. And then some of the stuff that came afterwards, Abbey Road, White Album, Sergeant Pepper's. Yeah, it's gonna be the B. It's the BG. But that's what happens when we get old. All the things that we remember as a kid, they all start dying. All the people we remember when we were a kid. Okay, so it's just the B, huh? That's what I thought. Once Tom was gone, I don't remember hearing anything more out of them. Yeah, it's B now because the G's are gone. Never was really that into the Bee Gees. That was part of that disco era I wasn't into. Actually, it's funny. Jordan was on some level into the Bee Gees. In fact, at one point when he was still living in his apartment, and before he was vlogging, he would every once in a while in his apartment, and before he was vlogging, he would every once in a while he'd get too much stuff, and he just downsize things. And one of the things he did is downsize his CD collection, and he gave me like 100 CDs that he had that are now in my collection. I think one of them was a Bee Gees album. No, I don't have any of his solo stuff. No, I agree with you, Mark. I don't see what Yoko Ono had as an artist. I've heard enough of her stuff to say, yeah. Well, Paul and Yoko don't seem to be great friends these days, so I would tend to agree with that assessment. Whatever it was, it's eaten my tomatoes. It's eaten all of them now. So I don't know. I still am not sure what it is. The Meghan Markle effect, yeah. Although what happened to Harry might be the Yoko Ono effect. The pool is not a pool again. It's just a dirt in the ground or a hole in the ground at this point. Although if it starts raining again tomorrow, it'll probably become a pool again. Yeah, I've heard a little of Julian Lennon stuff. On a plus side, Flash seems to be staying out of the jalapeno garden now, so I'm still getting some jalapenos and Anaheim peppers. I don't think I'm going to do the Anaheim peppers again next year. They don't quite have the bite that I thought they would. Well, it's got to be some kind of varmint, Darth. I got one more session to do on the cabinets. I don't know if I'll do another video on it. At some point, I'll do maybe a video showing the finished report, or, finished product, or at least do a little segment in another video. Sometimes I do that, like, okay, I'm done with today's subject, and let's just wrap up on a little other subject here. I've been doing that once in a while. There aren't any tomatoes anymore. Whatever was eating them took all of them, even the green ones. So I got some good tomatoes for about a week or two, and who knows, maybe we'll get some more. Probably a possum, though. That would be my guess. I've been thinking about that. I was looking at trail cams last weekend for that very reason. I can't find a trail cam that I really like. I'm gonna have to keep looking around for it because all the ones right now have all this connect to your phone through the wireless network, and you got to pay a subscription for it. I just want a camera that I can put out there that'll take pictures, and I'll go get the little flash drive off of it. I don't know. I suppose I could go look online and find something. Somebody's got to have one that's not like wireless connected. It's just all the ones. I went over to Cabela's. I went over to we have something called Academy Sports here. They both have that kind of stuff, everything they got is a subscription thing, and it transfers the photos to your phone and stuff like that. I don't want any of that. Hey, Susan. Ah, yeah, I'm really happy with the new refrigerator. I think a possum would get up over a fence. I don't know. I'd have to see that how that would work. If I did, I'd probably have to electrify it. There aren't any real windows in the house that face the garden. No, it's gonna have to be something I put right out there. Actually, what I could use, I had a problem in California. There was a local bird. It was some sort of a crane that found my fish pond. And on several occasions, I saw it walking around in the fish pond picking off my fish. And so, what I ultimately did is I got a little sprinkler head uh, that is attached to a motion sensor. And so you hook it up to the garden hose, and you put it where you don't want varmints or whatever. And when they get too close, the sprinkler goes off and chases them off. No, I'm not looking to kill anything. I just want to scare them away. But see, I still got that sprinkler thing somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Gun turrets. That's what we need. That's how you solve every problem. Gun turrets. I am thinking I'm going to boost the garden up one more level next year. That'll get some more soil in there, and I think that would help a lot. I don't know about staying up all night. That seems, I don't know, might be a little difficult to do. I'll probably look online, see if I can find something. Now, if it was Joe Biden, he'd still be stuck in the backyard because he wouldn't be able to find his way out. Well, that's part of the fun is not getting everyone's joke. I think the funniest jokes are the ones that people don't get. Yeah, that's what I figure it probably is, Mark. A possum. I've seen possums in the backyard. I've seen raccoons in the area. It could be a skunk. Yeah, there we go. It's a ghost of Dibble. She is right there after all. Oh yeah, yeah. I've had a few ice cold brewskis out of the fridge. Like I said, I'm using that little middle drawer for drinks. So I got beer and Gatorade and stuff like that in there. I really like the new fridge. It's great. No, because Flash wouldn't be able to get the tomatoes off the bush as high as it is. No, it's something that's able to climb. That's why my leading candidate is got to be a possum because possums can climb. Raccoons can too, but I've never seen a raccoon in my backyard. And there's the other Gene. Well, I think adding another level to the garden would definitely give me it would keep like Flash out of the garden definitely. It also allow maybe for some larger crops in there. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit at the beginning about Lindsey Graham. That was surprising. I keep expecting it's going to be Mitch McConnell. Yeah, it's disturbing how our House and Senate have turned into old folks' homes. There's got to be term limits on this. This is getting crazy. Never seen rabbits in the yard. No, never seen rabbits in the area. It could be aliens. It could be extraterrestrials. Absolutely. Maybe they're done abducting cows and now they're starting to abduct tomatoes. I'd love to have rabbits in the backyard, but I'm afraid that some of the local birds would pick them off. There's a part in the front yard here where there's a hole in the fence that I know cats get in and out of. And so if a cat could get in and out of there, then a possum could, or a raccoon could, or a skunk could. That's still um, my leading suspect here is that it's a possum or a skunk or a rabbit or raccoon. I suppose that's possible too. I mean, squirrels are omnivores; they'll eat just about anything. But I can't imagine why a squirrel would want to be eating my tomatoes. I feed the squirrels. I feed them well. Never seen any snakes in the yard either. No. In fact, I think I've seen two snakes in the wild since I've been here. I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a tag team. There's fresh water in the bird bath, and I know the squirrels get water from that. I see them do it. They'll jump from the bird bath or from the wall to the bird bath because it's only about 2 feet away. And they scamper up and down the wall really easily. I don't know what kind of fence I could put around it that would keep a determined possum or a raccoon or something like that out. I mean, I have thought in the distant future of maybe doing some sort of a greenhouse in the area, and that would definitely keep the possums and stuff like that out. But see, I think chicken wire wouldn't be an option because I think a raccoon or a possum could scale that. Yeah, that's why I need a trail cam. Like I said, I got to find one that isn't connected to the internet. I'm not looking for that. I don't need to have it be able to beam photos to me wherever I am. I understand in a lot of cases it's really nice to have trail cams that you will send you the photos because maybe the trail cam is way out in the middle of nowhere, but it's not going to be that case. It's going to be out in my backyard. If I want to get the pictures, I'll go get the pictures. No, I'm not really sure what kind of snakes they were. One of them I caught on video. It was the time I went over to the Waco wetlands, and I saw a snake on the ground there, and I followed it for a minute. What would Jed Clampett? Jed Clampett would eat it, would shoot it and eat it. Well, somebody's got to do some sort of trail cam because trail cams have been around for forever. But wirelessly connecting things to the internet, that's recent. So there's got to be something out there that isn't that before the whole internet thing, or at least before that that does that without all the internet connectivity. But yeah, I'd love to have video or even just photos. Yeah, there's got to be something out there like that, Susan. Like I said, I've been focusing mostly on something I could go in and look at, uh, in the store. And so far, everything I've found there has just been, you know, the wirelessly connected kind. Yeah, it's noon here. Yeah, that's all I want. I just want one with a memory card. I'm sure there's something out there. Like I said, I think probably when you go to like a Cabela's or something like that, they're going to have all the latest stuff. And maybe I got to go online to find something a little bit more basic. Oh, right now I would say it's probably in the 80s right now. It's a little overcast outside, but I'm sure that'll burn off. Maybe, I don't know. We're supposed to maybe get some rain starting tomorrow, and there's actually a small chance of rain today. Let's see if I can. Let's see if we can see anything here. No, not a lot going on right now. It's interesting. There's stuff northeast of us, and that seems to kind of be building in strength. But and who knows? Maybe that could eventually drift over here too. But tomorrow and Tuesday are supposed to be the days to get some good rain, so that would be nice. We haven't had any real rain here in a few weeks. I think since that last big storm that dropped like 5 inches, and I had a river running through my backyard. That was fun. Oh, I don't know. The problem with the tarp then is you got to figure out what to do with all that water afterwards. At least if it falls on the ground, it soaks into the ground. Besides, the thing's like 30 feet in diameter. It's really hard to find a tarp that big. Trust me, I tried because that was one of the approaches I was going to try when I still had the pool was to cover it with a big tarp. But I could never find a heavy duty tarp that would get that big. But like I said, I'd just like to know what it is. If I can identify what the varmint is, then we can try and find some way to deal with it. But right now, I don't even know if it's coming back anymore because it's completely cleaned all my vines off. Yeah, I was hoping we get a little bit of rain this year. I don't know. They're talking about an El Nino this year, and so we'll see what that does for us. It'd be nice to get some nice weather this summer. Yeah, I hope so. Like I said, the jalapeno plants are doing good. They're producing well. Like I said, I'm going to probably go with something other than the Anaheim peppers next year. They did well, but they just they don't have the bite that I would hope they would have. They're a little bit more than a bell pepper. Oh yeah, another one of my Jordan the Lion T-shirts and the classic when he went to Paris. Mount Rushmore. That was one of the places we went when I was a kid. I don't know. I think I got five or six, something like that. You got to remember during this time, when Jordan was doing his international travel phase, every time he went somewhere, I would be babysitting Jaw. So, I always got a T-shirt or some sort of a memento from his trips. That was always kind of fun. No, no, Jaw did not. Well, the problem was not Jaw. The problem was the cats. Jaw's first instinct is to chase. The cat's first instinct is to run. Yeah, that was never going to work. I think Jaw would have been fine with the cats. Jaw seemed to get along great with cats. Jaw's always just looking for a friend. Jordan's a natural performer. Nothing will ever change that. He's been a natural performer all the entire time I've known him, one form or another, whether it's being in a band or comedy or acting or vlogging. That's just who he is. He's just driven to do that. Yeah. I've never encountered a dog like Jaw before. Never really been a huge fan of little dogs. I've always been a big dog kind of person. But Jaw's a good ambassador for little dogs. Little dogs are usually just, hyper and yippy and skittish. Jaw isn't that. Jaw's a great dog. Jaw's starting to be an old man though, isn't he? I remember when he was just a baby. That's always been Jordan's gift too, is his ability to walk up to a stranger and just engage with them. I mean, that's how he met, so many famous people. I mean, I don't know anyone that knows as many famous people as he does. That's how most of you found my channel. But that's very possible. Oh, I just moved the dinosaurs over there. They're kind of over. I could never be a weatherman over there somewhere. And that's why I keep coming back and doing this every week. I mean, there's only 19 people in here right now. It's not like a Jordan the Lion live stream, but you know what? I enjoy sitting and talking to you guys. No, not until next week while I go visit Kara again. It's usually tied to my payday, and my payday is next week. Well, yeah, dinosaurs migrate, right? Yeah, they just moved over there. Haven't thought about that, Susan. Maybe that's why they had so much energy to move to the other end of the yard. They filled up on my tomatoes. Well, see, I get a kick out of the fact that a lot of you come in here and you're not always necessarily even talking to me. You're talking to each other. That's a trip. All right, everyone. This is everyone else. Everyone else. This is everyone. Oops. Punch my laptop here. My laptop and I have an abusive relationship with each other. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I need a drone. That's it. A drone that's capable of deploying weapons. We have a possum at 4 o'clock. Arm the weapons. Yeah, I still see stuff pop up on my timeline from Hot Mac, the remote control place. Unfortunately, everything they do these days is on Saturdays, and I work Saturdays. You know, Central Texas is a weird place on Sundays. A lot of places close on Sundays, and the clubs don't do anything on Sundays. I'm happy that the Rock and Mineral Show, for instance, happens all weekend and all that, but a lot of these little private things, they don't do anything on Sunday. I would love to go back where I would even love to get a remote control aircraft some point in time and do my own video. Time machine would be cool too. All right, thanks for stopping in, Gene. Good seeing you. See you next time. And that's probably what would happen too, Mark. I'd probably crash it. That's what I was thinking after I said that. If I'm going to do it, I got to get a cheap one to start with. You're right though, Mark. That's probably what would happen. Now, if I'm going to get something like that, I want to get a drone first. That would be the issue too, Darth. Fly yes, land no. Fly yes, crash yes. Maybe another color here. Orange. That looks interesting. I don't know what future where I would go in the future if I had a choice. Might be interested in going to past. Go to 1885 and try and talk to Doc Brown, right? What would you do in 1963, Darth? Tell the president, don't go to Dallas. Warn him about Pearl Harbor, Darth. What's in 1955? Remind Marty of the clock tower strike. You want to go visit World War 11, huh? Is this a contest, Mark? 1939 World's Fair, huh? All right. Uh-oh, sounds like a war is brewing here. Who's oldest, who's wisest? It's not a competition. Woodstock, that would be fun to go see. Go see the Beatles in the cavern. Who are the 29-year-old women here? The Grady Bunch? Look who's coming back. Guess the food coma wore off, huh? But the question is he going to come all the way or just going to sit there and stare at us? Oh well, we'll see. I would guess that was a lot of people felt the same way after Woodstock. I don't remember much of it. Do not take the brown acid. It's a bad trip, man. No, I haven't heard anything about the marker. Like I said, I don't expect to hear anything probably until about the end of the year. It sounded like it was going to be about a 10-month lead time. I don't know. Coming into summer, I'll probably follow up with them and see what's going on. I do want to be there when they put it in place. I think that'll be a great vlog. Show it to everyone for the first time, the whole thing. It's going to look really cool, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I paid for the marker on the spot. I knew it was going to be mega expensive, and it was. Initially, yes, but I paid that off right away. I basically transferred money into the account and then used that money to pay for it. I got a little bit of money when my mom passed away, and so that's just parked in an online savings account right now, earning like 4% or something, earning some really good interest rate. And I took money out of that for that. Well, I'm dealing with a local in country company, so what they do with is that's their responsibility to take care of that. And I don't think the stone is being prepared overseas. I think it was the stone was purchased overseas and brought here, and they're working it here. They're building it here now. So I would guess that the stone is in probably in the States somewhere. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Darth. It's a spaceship. I don't think there's going to be any kind of a rip-off problem. First off, this company has been at that location, been in business for like 50, 70 years. You don't stay in business if you're ripping your customers off. Probably the most expensive piece is that opal that I have. Want to see it? Kara has a twin to this one that I want to add to my collection too, but oh, okay. Yeah, you wouldn't believe this is the most expensive thing considering how little it is, but that's my Australian opal. Pretty, huh? Ooh. Like I said, Kara's got one that's the twin. I think I took a picture of it at one point. Let me see if I've got a picture of it. And I want to add that one to the collection at some point too. Let's see, it's going to be so many pictures I shot at work. I gotta get in here and just take a bunch of pictures off here. This is crazy. Is that it? Yeah, there it is. That's the twin right there. That one's more blue than while mine is more green. But yeah, I want to add that one. That one's the twin to this one. So I definitely want to get that at some point. I really like opals, so they're a lot of fun. I got 5 or 6 opals. I was thinking instead of a ring, like a nice pendant or something like that. Almost over $1,000. Yeah. No, I don't think opals are necessarily old. They're beautiful because they have the fire in them. Because depending on the angle you look at, you see different colors and different flashes. I've got a couple opals here. Let me go get another one I got. Oops. That's when I kicked the laptop. Yeah, this is another opal I have. This is a little bit more plain, but it's got that one face on it that's got the beautiful opal color in it. That one's more of a raw opal, but I think it's cool how it's got like these little fractured pieces on the other side. Almost makes me want to cut the thing in half to see what's inside of it, but I don't want to do that. Oh, you're talking the marker? Oh yeah, it was way more than $1,000. You know what I mean? If we're really going to get down to it, then yeah, the grave marker is my most expensive rock. No, no, it's really, really smooth. And it's dark on the backside. But yeah, they polished this. But yeah, very smooth. No cracks or anything like that. They got a couple little small opals, and then another opal that's weird that I have to keep it in water or it'll fracture. I don't know. I don't know how. Let's look that up and see how old opals can be here. Actually, let's just ask a cell phone here, right? How old are opals?
60 million years old. They formed naturally when silica rich water evaporated. If you're thinking of people named Opal, like the Pokemon gym leader, she's 88, while Opal is 99.
Okay, well that wasn't all right. So apparently there's people named Opal that we know. So between 2 and 65 million years. So it's old. I mean, just about everything in my collection is old. Yeah, no, I think they polished it. No, not Opal Winfrey. It didn't even tell us about Opal Winfrey. Yeah, it probably looked pretty cool there too, Gene. Like I said, I've seen these little like necklaces that have like a little like almost a net hanging, and you can put like different stones in it. This would go nice in that. Like I said, this would be a nice pendant. No, no, they're different colors. If you can get red, yellow, orange, basically almost any color of the rainbow. Like I said, this one's predominantly green, but there's some blue in there. That parent one that I have has more that the twin of the one I have has more blue in it, and then there's blue in that one too. But I see some green in there. But yeah, the ones that flash with like reds and yellows, those are gorgeous. I don't have any diamonds. I have a Herkimer diamond, but that's not really a diamond. That's just a piece of quartz. I don't know. Maybe I've never thought about X-raying one of them. No, Kara doesn't have anything like that. In fact, she was talking about getting a geode cracker. You remember when I went to the rock show a couple months ago and had that geode broke open right there? She's talking about getting something like that. Yeah, yeah. The quartz is definitely with me. The quartz is always with me. I have a piece of raw turquoise. What's my rarest rock? It would probably be that Russian piece that I got that was in the museum. Maybe this is that orange celestine part rock that I got. That was that one that I thought it was a beautiful rock to begin with. And then when I heard the story about it, I said, oh man, I got to have that. The story is almost better than the rock itself. Apparently, this was found in the Soviet Union and had been in a museum. And then when the Soviet Union fell, all of the specimens of this stuff got packed up in a shipping crate somewhere and was forgotten. And it's been like in deep storage for like 50 years or 40 years or something like that. And all of a sudden they found it and it got released. And so this is really rare because it only comes from one place in Russia. And of course, pound for pound, probably my most expensive piece is this piece of moldavite. That's that's one of my favorite pieces, definitely, because that's really cool. What that is, that's a piece of sand that got transformed into green glass in a meteorite impact. So you really can't tell there in that much, but it's got a green tint to it, but it's actually kind of transparent. You can see through it. And so that's really cool. That's one of my favorites, I think. I have a few things that are radioactive. Yes. It's not, no, this isn't a meteorite. This is the result of a meteorite impact. The heat and pressure from the impact of the meteorite transformed the sand at the impact site into green glass. I don't remember when the impact occurred. It might be in my notes somewhere. We have that piece of trinitite that I got at the show a couple years ago. That's kind of cool too. That's sand that was transformed into black glass uh, or black and green glass due to the nuclear explosion tests at the Trinity test site. Yeah, this is an Australian opal. I don't know. I haven't thought about what I'm going to do for a vlog this week, but I'll figure something out. This is my long weekend, so hopefully we can get maybe more than one. Yeah, it's time to do a restaurant vlog. Maybe it'll be like I said, it's a long weekend. It's gonna rain a lot this, so maybe a restaurant vlog is the thing to do. Usually, the notes I get, if she knows where it came from, she'll tell me as much as she knows about it. So if I know where it's from, then I'll definitely put a comment on my tag, and definitely on the database file where I document all my pieces. You want a city tour in the rain? Oh, we'll definitely have them going somewhere. It's going to be air conditioned. I don't know if there's a town named Sundown. Oh, would I be required to go there at sundown? I don't know. Is that? I don't know. I don't know the etiquette on that. I have a number of pieces that I'm proud to say are museum quality. In fact, I've seen things in museums that, yeah, I got a better one than that. Thanks for stopping in, Dar. See you next time. Maybe we'll get Rhonda one of these weeks. Say hey to the doc. Watch out from Mad Dog Tannen. I hear he's a little crazy. Oh, there's got to be a town named Sundown. Where is a town named Sundown?
Sundown is a small town in West Texas,
There you go.
located in Hockley County. It's about 35 miles southwest of Lubbock and 330 miles northwest of Waco.
All right, well, it knows I'm in Waco, I guess, huh? That's not creepy. My cell phone's tracking where I am. But once again, would I have to go at sundown? Where did it say? It was near Lubbock. $330 from Waco. So what's in Sundown that I need to visit? I should get out and do some more travel. We're coming up another maintenance interval at work, so hopefully we can work it out so I can do a little traveling this time. That was disappointing because last time in the weeks coming up to the maintenance interval, I asked, the boss was saying, oh, we want to have some like training classes and stuff during shutdown. I said, okay, can we try and keep it like on one end or the other? So, people that want to go out and, do some traveling can have some time. It just didn't work out. Well, I've been to some of the filming locations of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Did that with Jordan. That was fun. Remember on the trip out here, the first time we spent the night at the gas station from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then the next day we had uh, lunch at the house from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, and then Yellowstone. Yeah, I know. I got to do it. Oh, there were murders there? Huh, that's interesting. Of course, there's murders here in Waco, too. That's right, we didn't see Yvonne today. Must have taken the day off. Yeah, no Rhonda either. Just about the point where I think that Rhonda's given up on us and she pops up. So I think she just has to work a lot. My week starts with me leaving the house at 6 a.m. and I don't usually get home until 8 o'clock later, 8:30, 9. It's long days, but it's really nice because I get them out of the way and then I get 3 or 4 days off every week. That's what really makes this place great. Get a lot of time to just kind of do my own thing. And enough expendable income where I can go spend a whole bunch of money on rocks. You're right, John. That's it exactly. I love having a minimum 3 days off every weekend. I mean, I don't have to go back to work now until Thursday. How awesome is that? You want to see Yellowstone? Okay, here's Yellowstone here. Hang on a second. I'll show you Yellowstone. Not that one. That one's poisonous. I do have Yellowstone. It's very, very poisonous. But we'll show you this Yellowstone. There's your Yellowstone, Darth. Nice piece of sulfur. Even smells like sulfur. I could do the full cowboy thing, but I don't think they'd let me pack heat. Anything for you, Darth. You wanted Yellowstone, I gave you Yellowstone. One of these days I'm going to have to rearrange my collection so that all the same color stones are next to each other. Someday I am going to go get like a really nice cowboy hat. And maybe the boots too. There's definitely a place. There's definitely places around here where you can do that. There's a place over kind of by the Home Depot that I go to that specializes in Western wear, and there's a place down by the Cabela's I go to that specializes in boots. I got some mica just my last trip here. Let's see, where's my mica? Here. Yeah, last time I went and visited Kara, I got this piece of mica. So that's really cool. Always looking for fun things. I don't know what to do with a horse. I mean, it's not like this house is really suited for a horse. Horses need places to run. Well, I got a nice sized backyard. It's not big enough for a horse, of course. Yes, it's very fragile. It's very thin layers, and it will peel away. So that's one of those that I'm very careful with. You know, things like this, they're pretty solid. I can manhandle this pretty well. I got pieces like the mica that are really really fragile, and then I got stuff that's so fragile that I won't even handle it directly. I got probably half a dozen pieces that I actually put on little wooden bases so I could handle them without actually having to touch them. Yeah, but I'd have to pick up horse poop in the backyard. You know, I don't like picking up dog poop in the backyard, and horse poop is big. Yeah, I've liked mica for a while. So when I saw that, and this isn't just regular mica, this is what they call yellow mica, which I guess is kind of rare because I guess normally mica is a little bit clearer. But I like, look at all the layers on that. That's a cool piece. Yeah, I think it's probably time for me to pull the plug here. Otherwise, Darth is going to keep coming back and won't be able to go do anything else today. So I'm going to pull the plug on this one. Thank you, everyone. I had a good time today. We'll pick this up again next week. Good night.